Sir Roger Moore is with us today. Sir Roger Moore is here, and in fact it's not today because this is a pre-record. Roger, how are you?
I'm not going to tell you how I am.
No.
But I just saw Sanjeev. Now, has he been on before me, or is he going on after me?
Well, you're both pre-recorded, so neither of you are here.
I'm not here.
No, you're not really here. No, there's no need for that. So, no, Sanjeev has been on here. And how did you two know each other, Sanjeev Bhaskar?
Dennis Selinger's birthday party, I think, or Michael Caine's birthday party sometime. Years ago.
Yeah.
Wonderful entertainer.
He's a great actor, and he does the perfect impression of you as well. I mean, it's frightening. Although, quite a lot of people do impressions of you.
Well, it's quite easy. You just speak in a flat voice and, and raise an eyebrow.
Really? Okay. Now, following the huge success of his tour last year, Sir Roger is currently back in the UK doing another tour of theatres, where audiences are invited to spend either an afternoon or evening with Sir Roger Moore. The tour opened in Leeds on Sunday, and yesterday was in Guildford. Tonight, Sir Roger's tour comes to Watford Coliseum, ahead of dates in Reading and Salford and Birmingham and Glasgow and Edinburgh and Milton Keynes and Buxton and Wimbledon. So if I came to Watford tonight at the Coliseum, what kind of thing would we see? How does it happen? You come on?
My assistant Gareth, and he comes on, and Gareth knows more about me than I do of myself. In fact, we have written a couple of books together.
Yeah, I know.
So he knows my history, and I have no memory anymore, which comes with age. And so he prompts me. He says, "You were born in London, weren't you?" I say, "Yes." He says, "Stockwell." I say, "Yes." And so it's very easy. All I have to remember is to say yes. It's like being married.
Very good.
Yes, darling.
Yes, I'll do that.
Darling.
Yes, anytime. And what do people want to know? Do they want to know more about Bond? Do they want to know lots about the Saint? Because, see, I would be asking questions about the Persuaders, and also that film that you did where you double.
Man Who Haunted Himself.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You didn't need a prompt for that, did you?
Well, it's the only film I say that I was ever allowed to act in.
That was great.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And Basil Dearden was a wonderful, wonderful director.
Yeah. His name was Pelham, wasn't it?
Pelham. My name is Pelham.
No, my name is Pelham.
I am Pelham.
Oh, no, I am Pelham.
Who is this man, Daddy?
That was the film. I mean, it was really good.
It was called Who is This Man? I Am Pelham.
Yeah.
The man who haunted himself.
Yeah. People want to know about Bond, of course, and Tim and I were just saying, well, you go ahead and tell.
Well, I was just saying about Live and Let Die. I think it's one of the greatest Bond films ever. Contains the scene, of course, where you walk across the crocodiles and or the alligators. That couldn't have been easy to do, Roger.
It was very difficult to get the fellow to go across them for me.
But what do people ask you the most about with regard to Bond?
Who was your favourite Bond? Who's your favourite girl? And some simple ones, some are complicated.
Yeah. And what about the Saint? When did this Saint start? Because I remember it when I was a kid, so I'm guessing early 60s was the Saint, right?
Yeah, 61, 62. I tried to buy the rights in 1956, 57, when I'd come back from being under contract to MGM. I started a series in England called Ivanhoe.
That's right, yeah.
And I thought, well, going into television from Hollywood, there's a stigma attached to it. You'll probably never make another film, so you better find something to do. And my father suggested that I do The Saint. He said this would be a very, very good thing for me. I tried to buy it, but Leslie Charteris obviously had very good taste at that time and said no. And so a few years later, when I was in Venice, my then agent called me and said he had an offer for me to do The Saint from Lou Grade. Was I interested? I said yes, because I tried to do it once, and I ended up doing it.
And it was a massive success, and it's always shocking when you tell me that you never ever went to France. You know, you see you in the car, that fantastic car, and you're driving down the Alps or what have you, and there's a car chase, but you never went there.
That was the magic of what they call blue screen in those days, or back projection.
Yeah.
What they did was they put a palm tree in front of you and put a sign on the screen saying the Bahamas, and you're standing there in the pouring rain, trying to look as though you're perspiring. and at one point, there was an episode where Lou's looking at, and they've got Paris on the screen, and she shot in Borehamwood High Street. The buses and the cars and red buses, and they said, and it's just the cars are going like they do in England. So they said, well, we're going to flip the screen.
yes, so they're on the other side.
They're on the other side.
That's brilliant.
But I would say, it would be wonderful actually to go to places, not have to just have it written on the screen, just to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, of course, I started travelling with Bond and with other films, and you found that it was quite exhausting, all that travelling. I wish I were back in the studio.
In Borehamwood. You've always been what I would call an international guy. You're an international actor. And at that time, I don't think there were many English international actors, were there really? I mean, you know, I would imagine that you probably wouldn't live in Camberwell.
No, I didn't live in Camberwell. I've gone up market from Stockwell and moved to Streatham, or St Wreatham.
St Wreatham, as we call it. Yeah.
I went to America first in 1952 and lived in New York, and in 54 MGM exercised their option on me, and I went to Hollywood.
Yeah.
I arrived on April the 1st, 1954, on the set of the last time I saw Paris, opposite Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh.
It's not a bad way to start.
Absolutely not a bad way.
And my first scene in the film was punching Van Johnson in the chin. Wow.
Good start.
It was a good start. It was absolutely terrifying.
I bet, yeah.
And I did 4 more pictures. They then worked out that I was no good, and so they gave me a ticket home. That's when I did Ivanhoe. Then when I finished Ivanhoe, actually Hollywood beckoned again, and I went back and did a film called The Miracle with Carol Baker. I played the Duke of Wellington's nephew.
Mm.
And they thought at Warner Brothers that I sounded too English. I said, but he's the Duke of Wellington's nephew. How is he going to sound? And it was because I would say things, I would say bean instead of bin.
But he's an English guy.
Yeah,
You're
he's
playing.
posh. So now we'll move on to the Persuaders. After the Saint and The Persuaders, I mean, I remember when that was launched, and you did a whole thing, I think it was for the TV Times, and it was you and Tony, and you were skiing and all the rest of it. Had you previously known Tony Curtis, and did you really get on as well as it looked?
I didn't know Tony from before, but when Lou said he'd sold the show in America, and I said, Lou, I didn't want to do any more television. He said, yeah, but I sold it. I said, yeah, but is that not immoral to sell something when somebody doesn't want to do it? He said, think of the Queen. The country needs the money.
Yes.
I shoved a cigar in my mouth, and that was it.
Let me just do these dates. Tonight, Wednesday 30th, it's Watford Coliseum. Then in November to see Sir Roger Moore. This Saturday afternoon, 2nd of November, the Hexagon in Reading. Sunday afternoon, 3rd of November, the Lowry in Salford. The evening of Wednesday, 6th of November, New Alexandra Theatre in Birmingham. Theatre Royal Glasgow, the afternoon of Sunday, the 10th of November. Some of these are afternoons and evenings, so I'm telling you which they are. The evening of Monday, the 11th of November, Edinburgh Festival Theatre. Evening of Wednesday, 13th of November, MK Milton Keynes Theatre. The evening of Thursday, 14th of November, Buxton Opera House, and the afternoon of Sunday, 17th of November, New Wimbledon Theatre. We didn't ask you a lot about Bond because, you know, you should really save all the Bond stuff, I think, for those evenings, because people will be asking you all the time.
I'd also save the UNICEF stuff for that.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you know, your UNICEF stuff that you do is just extraordinary. I know that's a very kind of heartfelt and sincere thing that you've done for so many years now, and it must be very gratifying.
Well, the worrying thing today is, for us all, is the humanitarian crisis, which is one of the greatest, which is Syria.
Yes, of course.
Which, you know, so many countries are affected directly, such as Turkey and Jordan and Lebanon. And the refugees, the number mounts and mounts and mounts. And we're facing what is called a lost generation.
Mm.
We have to educate those children. We have to get them out of that, so that they're not going to grow up with hatred and continue these awful wars that are coming from the Arab Spring.
Sometimes it seems that, I mean, the UN do fantastic work around the world, as you obviously know and do. Sometimes it seems that they're powerless within these regime. to get in there. Sometimes they're not allowed to get in there, aren't they?
Well, UNICEF, fortunately, is in all those places established. So we've just, UNICEF has just actually equipped a hospital in Damascus in the Assad side, so to speak.
Yeah.
But we work with a number of agencies who already are in place, and we supply them with the things from a pin to an elephant.
Okay. You can spend an afternoon or evening with Sir Roger Moore at theatres around the UK until Sunday, 17th of November. And yes, it was Roger Moore.
Hooray, hooray.
Hooray, hooray. He was here. Roger Moore is now leaving the building.
Thank you.
Thank you.